Good evening, everybody. This is the Event 5 CCKF Jordan Lake Tournament. So this is Event 5. Um, I'm sorry, Event 6. And we've got two events after this. So we've got Jordan Lake, then we have Cape Fear River, and then we'll finish up at Hyco Lake, and that'll finish our regular season. So three more points events. And anyway, sorry, we got three more points events. So got the opportunity. Uh, not a lot of people have signed up for Jordan right now. About 24 anglers. So those guys that are in the AOI that do show up, even if you get skunked, you get 100 points, and you're going to make up some ground um, on some people. Definitely in the NCBASS standings, and potentially in the AOI standings. So anyway, it's just a good opportunity to make up some points. I'm sure a couple more will join before we get there. One good thing is the weather has really taken a turn. Last weekend, and early this week, forecast was saying that um, uh, 97 degrees tomorrow with a feels like temperature of 107. I checked the weather an hour ago, and the high tomorrow now is 90. But we'll be off the water. Supposedly, we'll be off the water before we hit that high. Um, so feels like it's still going to be about 97 or so. But all you got to do is stay in the shade, right? So I'm pulling up the forecast here in my background right now. So I'm going to hit 90 at 3 p.m. Is what it's saying. And our lines out is at 2 p.m. So you can beat the heat by about 2 degrees if you're good. I do want to announce a change. I will post this on social media. The weigh-in, and well, to go all the way back, I don't know who knows and who doesn't. Uh, Not quite 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, my wife suffered a heart attack, and we were in the hospital until this past weekend. We've been home this week. This morning, something wasn't right, so I spent, about 5 a.m. We headed back to the emergency room down in Moore County, and we were there until just after lunch. So I just don't feel right leaving her at this point. So I will be judging from the house tomorrow, and as such, we're going to have to do a virtual weigh-in. We've got other family members that have stuff going on. I was hoping my mother-in-law could come sit with my wife, and unfortunately, we just couldn't with everything that's going on. So we will do a virtual weigh-in. We'll do it at let's say 7 p.m. Tomorrow. I'll put it up on Facebook, and I'll also make this announcement on Facebook. So just wanted to let everybody know about that. With that, let's talk about launch times and lines in. So we're going to launch at 6 a.m. and you can start fishing at 6:15. Lines out at 2, and have your pictures uploaded by 2:30, and then you can disregard the weigh-in at 3:30 at Farrington Point. But not only does that allow me to be home, but it allows you to get out of the heat a little quicker and get fluids and replenish and get back to where you're going. Most of you probably saw the post that I made about legal water. So just understand that you can fish any water that you can normally paddle or float to. So if it's obstructed by logs, anything like that has fallen over, then that's legal water. If there's a log between you and the main lake, that log could be removed. So that's legal water. You can portage around that. However, you cannot go past permanent barriers. And so, the question had come up about Hall River. And if you go up the Hall River, there's rocks there almost all the time. If the rocks are not visible, then you've basically got whitewater conditions, and you're not going to make it up the river there anyway. That's when all the other kayakers come out and paddle the Hall River and have to call in the state rescue team, and because the water's got a lot more flow than they were expecting. So just keep that in mind. You can't cross any permanent obstacles, be it rocks, dams, roads, whatever it is that you come across. I want to go look real quick. The identifier should be released on TourneyX right now, but I will tell you what that is. It's JL23. JL23. My identifiers get a little predictable sometimes, so just know that moving forward, they'll probably be automatically generated by the software, and they won't make any sense because I'm not real creative at coming up with some of these things that you can I'm not coming up with ones that you can't guess. So one thing I want to touch on, going back to the Hall River questions, our next tournament is Hall River. And so there'll be a lot more rules coming out about that tournament. I mean, I think I've posted most of them. There's a long stretch of river that you can fish, and there's multiple launch points for that Hall River tournament. But the Jordan, it's all south, or it's all below Jordan Lake. None of it is above Jordan Lake, but it does make me think. I know that there's some pretty good fishing above Jordan Lake on the Hall River. If you start getting up around Saxapahaw and some of that area, there's launches. So we may look into that for being a river event next year. So just keep that in mind. So just keep in mind the other things. Your minimum fish is 10 inches. Make sure your fish is over 10. Make sure its mouth is to the left and the tail is to the right, and it's up is facing away from you, basically. Make sure you don't cover the eye, the mouth, or the tail. And if you've got questions about that, you can go look at our rules on CentralCarolinaKayakFishing.com, and there's a diagram there that shows you where not to touch the fish. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to touch on. I don't think there is. This one, Jordan, is one we've done every year. It's pretty cut and dry for us, I think. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully some more people will join here in the PM hours. And matter of fact, Michael Benjamin has signed up since we've been on the live stream. Just want to show you guys something. When you watch this live stream, the way that StreamYard works, see how this says Facebook user. A lot of times I can't see who's making the comments when I'm actually in StreamYard. I have to go back to Facebook to see who's made comments. There's some kind of sign up that you do for StreamYard as a user that allows me to see your username. And I'm also, and I think that's the same on Facebook and YouTube. I'm considering next year just doing these live streams on YouTube because we have a Facebook page, we have a Facebook group, and I think it gets confusing sometimes where to find the event. So I'm considering just doing YouTube next year for the live streams. We'll see. I think next year We're not going to allow hog trough boards anymore. We've allowed them much longer than most tourneys have or trails have. I'm not going to say um, uh, I'm not going to say that we're going to be catch only because Yak Attack is a sponsor of ours. They have announced their own measuring board, and I think I think we're definitely I think it'd be a slap in the face of a sponsor if they came out with a measuring board and we outlawed it. I think someone would have to really make a compelling argument um, for us not to use Yak Attack, and I think that would have to be some type of ruling by some of the larger bodies like KBF, Hobie. You know, we just look at we always just kind of follow what the bigger trails do in that regards. Except for I've kept Hog Trough this long because of the price point and because you know, one of the premises of CCKF is a cheaper tournament fee. Um, you know, and we try to get. I'm trying to attract some people that maybe haven't ever fished a kayak tournament before, right? We're the gateway. We're the gateway trail. Let's just call it that, right? You know, you get hooked on CCKF. There's no telling what else you're going to get hooked on in the future. So, you know, I want to continue kind of in that theme of not requiring, you know, the most expensive of equipment or have the higher tournament fees. Um, you know, I get discouraged sometimes when I look at what other trails pay out, but then I have to remember uh, we're only collecting $35 for the straight up tournament, and then you have to also understand that right off the top, $5 of that goes to Tourney X for the tournament fees. You know, last year when you were paying for the software, um, the tournament fee was only 30, so we went back up to 35 when we went back to Tourney X because I have to pay Tourney X $5 out of every angler. And the other thing to consider is PayPal fees. Everything we do right now is through PayPal, and so I get uh, uh, um, I just got tickled at Hank's comment here. So, uh, yeah, got hooked on CCKF and I can't stop eating Chick-fil-A. And anyway, you might want to find Wiggs tomorrow and check out. He's going to have a passenger on his boat. So we'll have to see maybe if you can find him and see who that is, or maybe somebody can post me a picture. Um, uh, yep, we've got this. My mind's gone blank. I was actually just looking at your profile and my mind's gone blank as to your name. I apologize for that. But yeah, we've got a guy coming up from, if you're the one I'm thinking of, driving from Mount Holly, fishes with Foothills, coming to fish with us tomorrow, and we appreciate it. And sorry I can't be there. I'd love to meet you. I haven't met really anybody from Foothills yet. I hadn't even met Cody, and I'm sorry for that. So hopefully, Battle at the Border maybe will be my first chance to kind of meet Cody and the other. Yeah, Chris Parker. Chris Parker. And the reason, Chris, that your name caught my eye is that uh, there's a guy in the area here that named Chris Parker, and I didn't think he was a kayak fisherman, but when I saw the name pop up, I was like, wonder if that's him. So I looked you up, but definitely glad you're coming. Definitely look forward to meeting the Foothills guys. Next year, you know, this year we did a joint tournament with CKA Foothills and CCKF. The uh, moving forward, each club is going to host that tournament. It's going to be a rotating tournament. So, you know, we haven't really said who's going to host it next year. But if that's something we're going to do, and we're actually going to be hosting it, I want to see this club get more involved in that tournament. Um, so really, really debating if we're going to make that a points event. Um, you know, I've always hesitated to make a points event over an hour and a half away from the Raleigh area. But if we're doing joint tournaments with these guys, then I think we need to drive as much participation as we can. It will only make the tournament better, and uh, so definitely considering points for that. Um, really have in my mind, I've really got some plans for next year to grow the trail a little bit. Um, Often I get discouraged when we don't have a big turnout at a tournament, and then I have to think back to the roots and why we started CCKF, and the goal of what CCKF um, uh, when we started. And when we had about I'd have to go back and look at the numbers. When we had about 20 anglers in our very first tournament, I mean, I was just shocked. I was like, oh, we're a success, and we've had 79 anglers at a tournament, and you get kind of caught up in those numbers as a tournament director. I get caught up in those numbers, and I want to see us. I want to see us. I, I keep thinking, oh, I want to see us big. I want to see us big. Um, but the thing is, that wasn't really the goal that we started with. Like I was saying a minute ago, the goal when we started was to get some newer people introduced to kayak fishing. Um, and I think sometimes I have to remember myself that that's the foundation of this club. And uh, I think we need to remain true to that. So if we do raise tournament fees, we're not going to raise them more than $5. Um, and that would be solely just to boost payouts a little bit. But we lost a few sponsors from last year to this year. Part of that was me, and I got a little discouraged with some of our past sponsors, um, and as a tournament director, you know, you're always balancing. Am I giving these people a return on their investment? So if somebody's giving me X amount of money to put into the pot, and that sponsorship money, just to be transparent with you guys, it pays for the software that I'm using right now to do this live stream. It pays for software to do, like Adobe Photoshop, that type of software to do the banners and the pictures we do. And so I think over the past couple of weeks, I've kind of put a little more effort into coming up with have you got plans this weekend, or the Vaina sausage hydration meme. Just trying to make sure if we're paying for that software, I want to utilize the software. But when I say next year, really what I want to do is pursue some sponsors that I feel like we can give them a return, and we could be a value to each other. And so I'm definitely interested in finding some sponsors that are non-fishing sponsors. Someone just said you can count me in as a sponsor next year. Don't know who that is, but reach out to me, and I'll try to go back on Facebook and look at it. And I've got a running list of some places that I want to approach, and just kind of some of them are pretty neat, and definitely looking for ideas from you guys. And if any of you guys have a business, oh yeah, thanks Frank. Yeah, Frank. Frank, and I always struggle with Frank's last name, Frank Rosnos. If you guys don't know, has a bow fishing guide service, and not for bowfish, not for bowfin, but actually archery bow fishing. So Frank came to me at the Tar River. I can't believe I said Tar Heel. I need to wash my mouth out with soap. He came to me at the Tar River Reservoir event, and let me know that next year he definitely wanted to sponsor us. And I think that would be a neat thing, right, to get on one of those guided bow fishing trips. I don't know how many. I haven't done it. I have a bow. I not set up for fishing, of course, but for archery hunting and things like that. So I think it'd be really neat to do. But anyway, definitely want to kind of revamp our sponsored list. And get some new sponsors on board, and just try to have some more prizes, right? Some more things to give away. Would love to see us have a Big Fish of the Year prize. We don't have an Angler of the Year sponsor this year. So definitely looking at trying to get some people on board to help us do some more things like that, and to help us maybe get closer to a full payout. So right now, your tournament fees, we're immediately losing PayPal money, we're immediately losing Tourney X money. But the one thing I do is that anything of the sponsorship money that we don't spend, that goes into bolster Angler of the Year and Clash of the Titans. So it's a little heavier, more heavily geared towards Angler of the Year than Clash of the Titans, but it does go into both pots. So anyway, with that, like we said, tomorrow launch at 6. We did have I did have a question here about don't know who posted it. Any chance that we can launch in Lines End both at 6? I couldn't do that tomorrow just because I think it's too late at this point to do it. There are some laughy faces there. So I can't do that tomorrow, but we were doing launch and Lines End at the same time, and I had a lot of feedback on that. That guys wanted to go back to launch and then Lines End. Previously, we had been 30 minutes, so you launch and you had 30 minutes to get to a spot, and then you could fish. So 6 and then 6:30. So I just kind of went in the middle and did a 15-minute buffer, and that's just what we've got for now. With that, I don't know of what else to say. You guys be careful tomorrow. Be sure to check in and check out, especially if you're in AOI. That's the only way I can police whether you participated. If you catch a fish, it's easy, right? Because I can see where you were when you caught the fish. But especially if you skunk, if you hadn't checked in and checked out, I can't 100% give you that 100 points. I can't give them to you easily. I will have to I'll have to look it up, like how you do it. It's something with the StreamYard login, and I think that they were done. I think what happened was StreamYard expired, and I had to renew it. I didn't get any emails. I just went to do a live stream one day, and hey, you don't have an account anymore. I just thought it auto renewed. So I think when we lost it, when it auto renewed, we lost whoever had signed in. So I'll find the link to that and kind of post it out for everybody. All right. With that, I think we're good. Everybody, good luck. Stay hydrated. Take water with you. Gatorade. Just make sure you're hydrated, and drink before you go to bed tonight. Get up and pee twice in the night, and then get up tomorrow and go fishing. And I'll see you guys online tomorrow night. Be safe. Keep your PFDs on.